generations, we've put more goodness in so you get a whole lot more out of every single delicious egg. A lot goes into a little at Burnbrae Farms.
You're watching Rogers Blue Jays baseball on Sportsnet. Roof open here on a Sunday afternoon, and each of these teams trying to win the series here today. Shane Baz, the former Tampa Bay Ray, will face the Blue Jays. Did not see them in Baltimore, and the Orioles did not see Kevin Gausman in that 4-game series in Baltimore last weekend. We just finished talking about Ernie Clement, who had such a great game yesterday, offensively and defensively, obviously putting in the work. And you know what, Caleb, putting in the time before the game as well. This is less than 10 minutes ago. Ernie Clement on his way off the field after doing some sprints and stretching. And he's not the only guy, but he does a lot of this stuff. And then it's Junior Jays Sunday. And look at Ernie. He's got as big a smile as the young fan there. And look at this is the part that really gets me after. Doesn't just pose for the picture, engages the fan right up until the moment the national anthems begin.
Dan, they say don't meet your heroes because more times than not you're going to be disappointed. Not the case with that guy right there. He's the same guy every single day. You can count on him. You can meet him at a grocery store. He's going to be the same guy, totally humble, down to earth. He is such a beauty.
And on his way onto the field, along with Guerrero and Valenzuela and the rest of them, and Kevin Gausman getting the start here today with the visiting Baltimore Orioles. 3-3 against the Blue Jays this year, and these two teams have the identical record overall. Craig Albernass's team is 31-34, just like John Schneider's team. A look at the starting lineup for the Orioles. A very hot hitter in Colton Cowser. He homered again yesterday. Henderson, Rutschman, Alonso again 2-3-4. Tyler O'Neill gets his first start of the series. Leody Taveras, Kobe Mayo among those out of the lineup today, with Kevin Gausman making his 139th regular season start as a Toronto Blue Jay.
Well, he's been a staple in that rotation for the Blue Jays for many years now. Last time out versus Atlanta was that Game 1 start at Truist Park. 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, 4 runs, 4 earned runs, 8 strikeouts. He generated a ton of whiff, 19 whiffs in that game, tied his season high. But Dan, he didn't like the way that first inning went. He was not impressed with how he wasn't able to put away Acuna Jr. Gave up a double to Harris, and it kind of unfolded. He was able to limit the damage, but let's see what he looks like in the first part of this game. Behind him on defense for the Blue Jays, Sanchez in left field. Straw is in for Varsho, still dealing with that hand issue. Pinango's in right field as that rounds out the outfield for the Blue Jays. On the infield, same usual suspects. 55th start at shortstop for Andres Gimenez. That's good for a .991 fielding percentage. Only 2 errors on the season frame. He's been so solid. Valenzuela back behind the plate. 6 of the last 7 games, Dan. Valenzuela has been behind the plate. He's getting the lion's share of time back there.
He is in 14 of the last 18 over a longer stretch. And how can you keep him out of the lineup the way that he's playing right now? He had 3 hits, including a couple of doubles yesterday. So here is Gausman to face Ward, Henderson, and Rutschman here to begin this ball game. Veteran umpire Hunter Wendelstedt is behind the plate. Also the crew chief. And underway with a first pitch swing and a ground ball right at the shortstop. And is there a better way to start your day if you're a starting pitcher?
1 pitch, 1 out to the slick fielding Gimenez. Just been so solid, so steady over there all season long.
You mentioned how Gausman, after the game in Atlanta last week, said, hey, I can't give up 2 runs in the first. I can't walk the leadoff man. Acuna worked him for a walk. Michael Harris, the second, worked him 6 pitches, eventually a double off him. The Braves had a run early before Gausman had gotten an out. Then a ground ball to move the runner to third, then a sac fly. So they got 2 runs in that first. Here's Gunnar Henderson. .225 on the season, does have power, 13 homers. Just off the corner, 2-0. Henderson 3 for 18 in his career against Gausman. John Schneider looking on from the third base dugout. The 2-0 splitter in a good spot, fouled off, 2-1. Year 5 for Kevin Gausman and what a 5-year deal it has been. You can see Shane Bieber, Max Scherzer, Dylan Cease, Trey Savage. They're putting the band back together, Caleb.
It's happening quick. Could be a bunch of moves happening fast.
We'll get into it more as time allows, maybe give it an inning or so, but changes are a coming on the pitching side. Guys are getting very, very close to rejoining the roster. Here's the 2-2, and it's just outside, ball 3. Waiting on deck, Adley Rutschman. Blue Jays held him in check yesterday after he had that huge game in the opening game of the series Friday night. "3-2", and it's pulled foul. Alonso in the cleanup spot, always dangerous, of course. He hit a home run yesterday for the Orioles. It is a tough top of the order Baltimore brings in here. Here's another ground ball. Guerrero's got it, and Gausman gets Henderson 2 down.
First thing I'm looking for with Kevin Gausman when he's out on the mound is the action of the split-fingered fastball. Does it have more north-south type of action, or is it moving east to west? And in that entire at-bat versus Henderson, north-south action, that's what you want to see.
2 down and the base is empty, and here's Rutschman. 4 for 4 Friday, 0 for 4 yesterday. He's DHing this afternoon as he takes a split that had more east-west action there, outside, ball 1. Two and 0. As we've talked about over the course of this series, Rutschman always has seemed to do damage against the Blue Jays. Big numbers in 56 career games against the Jays. Out of play, 2-1. Gausman got Ward on 1 pitch. Henderson made him work 7 pitches before the ground out. Now 2-1 on Rutschman. Good splitter there. That was back to north-south.
And that north-south pitch is because he was able to get on the inner lane with the fastball. Watch this front hip fly from Rutschman. That's him thinking that Gausman's going to double up on a fastball up, and that's what it takes to get Rutschman out of his sorts and off of that backside. Very good sequencing right there.
Tried it again. This time Rutschman wouldn't chase. A full count, second consecutive batter that has gone to a full count. Gausman would rather not see Pete Alonso here this inning. The 3-2, and it's strike 3 cold, says Hunter Wendelstedt. Blue Jays might have caught a break here in the first inning, but no challenge from Rutschman. And the first strikeout of the afternoon completes a 3-up, 3-down, top of the first. Sunday afternoon, a scoreless game that finds George Springer DHing and leading off again for the Blue Jays here today. And let's check out the lineup. No Varsho today, no Lucas today. There is an Ernie Clemento hitting in the fifth spot of the order. He leads the American League in hits and doubles, is 4th in batting average, homered and tripled yesterday. Valenzuela just as hot. Those have been the 2 best hitters for the Blue Jays in recent weeks. Shane Baz is on a pretty good roll right now for the Orioles.
Yep, last time out versus Boston, 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 walks and 6 strikeouts. Traded over from Tampa for 4 prospects. Immediately signed a 5-year $68 million deal before he even threw a pitch. Did not start off well, but the last few he's been looking more like himself.
7 innings in 3 of his last 4. Springer has a hack at the first pitch, and he has popped it up. And boy, Henderson really wants that ball. He went right in front of Holiday to make the catch. 1 down.
Yeah, defense behind Boz today for the Orioles. Ward's in left field. Cowser making his 12th start in center field. The Canadian Tyler O'Neill is in right field. Blaze Alexander's at third base. Gunnar Henderson has played in all 66 games for the Orioles this year. 61st at shortstop. Holiday, Alonso, and Basayo back behind the plate after a little bit of a rib issue. He did pinch hit last night, so he's back in there.
Here's Yohendrick Pinango getting his first start of the series, and you've talked about this a couple of times. Like, somebody's got to be the odd man out if everybody is healthy, but you don't want him to sit for too long, right? They've got a good thing going with a bat here. You want to keep him kind of sharp. So John Schneider trying to work him in here and there.
The hitting is so much timing, and you could tell that he's got a lot of timing going on, the way that he kind of flicks that back and forth every once in a while. And when you've got a hot hitter, you don't want him to sit for more than 3 or 4 days. Keep that timing and rhythm going, even if he's not going to play every single day.
You saw Miles Straw looking on. He's getting the start in center field. Again, Varsho can play defense, but not going to hit today. And a called strike there to make it 2-1. Varsho came on defensively late in the game. A little bit of inflammation in the wrist. Hopefully a minor thing. Maybe back in tomorrow when the Phillies come to town. Interesting stretch here for the Blue Jays, finishing off this series with a division rival, then the Phillies for 3, and then the Yankees for 3 next weekend. Up and in on him, but he offered at it and fouled it back. And did he get Basayo in the backswing? Something happened to Basayo, who is holding that left wrist.
Yeah, that happens from time to time when you're trying to get in there and get close, reaching for that ball up and in. Possibly the finger that's on the outside of the glove could have came into contact with the cup of that bat. I didn't really see anything blatant there. Looks like that's Sam Huff called up to potentially be a third catcher back there.
Yeah, Basayo's been dealing with a bit of an abdominal issue as well. Remember, last week looked like he had a shoulder thing going on, but that wound up being minor. 2-2 again, and off the outside corner, full count. 98 there from Boz, and if you were to have, you know, stuff at one end of the spectrum and finesse or command at the other, he's much more of a stuff guy. The command can be a little bit erratic, but he has a big arm. Shot the other way for a base hit. Pinango got a curveball and lined it into left for a 1-out single.
That curveball's been a really good pitch for Boz, but watch how Pinango waits back, wait. That tiny little hesitation allows him to get it out in front, but not too far out in front to pull it on the ground. Beautiful swing from the lefty.
1 on, 1 out for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. looking for his first hit of the series. 0 for 6 with a walk and a sacrifice fly. Does have good career numbers against Boz, 5 for 15, including a home run. But we have seen swings like that in this series. A slider, first pitch off the plate, and Vladdy going after it. He's chasing more this year than he has in the past. And when you're chasing more, I mean, that comes up in the meeting with the other team, right, where they're saying, hey, Guerrero's going to chase a little bit more, run the slider off or the curveball, whatever it is, off the outside corner, see if you can get him to chase.
Not only is he chasing more, but he's got the triple circle around him. Don't let this guy beat you. So at times you have a game plan of don't have to throw him a strike.
0-2 pitch hit in the air to center, but it is going to die on the edge of the warning track. The catch made by Cowser, as Boz might have gotten away with one. An 0-2 pitch that got a lot of the plate, but it winds up just a long out.
It's a good swing by Guerrero Jr. I love the direction. I love the launch. Sounded like it might have been just a tick off the end of the bat. But a swing you think, all right, that's closer, that's closer, that's closer.
2 down, and here's Jesus Sanchez, who went 2 for 4 yesterday. hitting in the cleanup spot for the second game in a row as Boz drops a curveball in for a called strike. And he has to use his timeout early in this at bat. Elbow guard or something going on where he's got to get everything straightened out before he steps back in. Piñango the lead, and a ground ball hit to first, and Alonso will take care of it himself to end the inning.
It's almost $1.5 million.
Welcome back. One of Kevin Gausman's biggest supporters is here in the ballpark, just not in the Blue Jays dugout. Gausman and Chris Bassett formed a close bond when the two became teammates back in 2023, and that close bond has extended well beyond baseball. This is what Bassett had to say about Gausman, his friend and now former teammate. Love Gauzy. Gauzy is one of the guys I'll die for. He's one of my best friends for sure. I love him, love everything he stands for. Braden Fisher told me he does too. Fisher praised Gausman for his community involvement, how he uses his platform to help those in need, and the way Gausman encourages his teammates to do the same. Miles Straw appreciates how consistent the veteran right-hander is around the team. He's just a positive influence on and off the field. Never really has a bad day, just a pretty positive person. And Dan, we have seen Gausman is as steady as they come on the mound and in the Blue Jays clubhouse. Guys?
Hazel, thank you. It has certainly been a big win for this franchise on and off the field. As Hazel said, how many guys, when you sign him to a 5-year deal, I mean, I think he's missed 1 or 2 starts maybe in the 5 years, and he's pitched at less than 100% sometimes physically, but he just keeps putting up the numbers year after year. Every year has been between 316 and 383 in terms of ERA, and right near or at the front of the rotation depending on what season it is. And as Hazel said, and Bassett and Straw and Fisher talked about, value just as much as a teammate as he is between the white lines.
And not many guys that kind of have that rubber arm type of output with his velocity. Of course, the velocity is a little bit down now, but just a guy that throws that hard typically doesn't have that rubber arm, and he can just go. He just learned that about him early on in his career, that never complains about really being sore, just is able to just post up and put start after start after start up on the board.
2-2 the count on Alonso, leading off the top of the second. Splitter misses inside of the knees, so from 0-2 to a full count now on Alonso, who comes in on a 10-game hitting streak. Basayo in the on-deck circle. Got in on his hands, soft contact, shallow center, Straw there, 1 down.
We talk about the fastball maybe not having 97, 98 with regularity, but he's locating that fastball better than he has in a number of different years. And especially when you're going to go 3-2 on the inner lane to a power hitter, you got to get it there, and he's been getting it to the spot so far in this outing. Love to see that. That's going to set up a lot of open room underneath with the splitter.
So now Basayo catching today, hitting .272, 9 home runs. Just off the outside edge for ball 1. Just 21 years old, Basayo, and a big man, 6'4", 250. Part-time catcher, part-time DH. The Orioles make sure whenever they can they try to get the bats of both Rutschman and Basayo into the lineup. And Basayo can play a little bit of first base as well. If you're Craig Albert, as you want to have both of those guys in the lineup. We see Salvador Perez playing some first. We see Liam Hicks playing some first. Some of the good hitting catchers around the game. You want to keep them in there. This is popped up, shallow left center, long run Straw. There in time, 2 down. Another split in a good spot down below the knees, and not a whole lot Masayo could do with it. So it's 5 up, 5 down for Gausman. And I would venture to say Blue Jays spent a fair bit of time talking about Colton Cowser in the pregame meeting. He has done some damage against them over the last week plus. Just .236 on the season, but .348 in his last 19 games.
4 home runs. Really starting to find that power stroke. I think he's kind of maybe the glue guy that really bridges some of those big bats to turn it back over. Lengthens the lineup. Got a big arm in right field, but left-handed power, additional left-handed power to this lineup. Really started to find his stroke in Baltimore. A couple really nice swings and has taken off since then.
Up and away, ball 2. We've asked Gausman, do you manipulate the splitter for it to go more straight down or more east to west? And the answer is no. He wants them all going basically north south, as you have said, but sometimes kind of a tough pitch to. That's right on the corner, but Cowser wants to challenge. This closer look is brought to you by Specsavers. And it is a successful challenge by Cowser, so that'll overturn it. It's 3-1. That splitter feels like it's a bit more difficult to predict or to control sometimes maybe than your typical pitch. Foul back, full count.
With less spin comes less predictability. Obviously a knuckleball is maybe rotating once or twice, very irregular in terms of its movements. That's why with some of those high spin guys it looks like it's being shot out of a cannon. It holds the line, so that splitter's RPMs are lower. It's all about hand placement, getting it out in front.
Full count pitch. In your opinion, splitters and changeups kind of are designed to do the same thing, but are splitters generally tougher to control than changeups?
Way more, especially if you have a really hard selling changeup like a Marco Estrada. That was spinning much faster, I would assume, than Gausman's. Much easier to locate.
There's a guy who knows a thing or two about a splitter. And Trey Savage. Here's another ball in the air, popped up for Okamoto, and he'll make the play. 6 up, 6 down for Gausman. Together an even better season than he had a year ago, and I don't know that anybody could have predicted back at the beginning of the year that Clement would be leading the team in slugging. You're expecting names like Guerrero, Springer to be up at the top of the list, but Clement with a very good combination of a high batting average, leading the American League in doubles, and he's also got 6 home runs already this year. And you know what, Caleb, maybe anything is possible.
I believe it, especially when you dominate a certain zone. He says he wants to go to the pull side, and sometimes you're a little bit late and the guy's got a little bit of fastball on him, and you can go to the opposite field like he did for the first time in yesterday's game, a triple over the head of Cowser in right field. But he's a yes, 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 no type of hitter, always looking to hit and then stops on a dime if it's not there.
Ball 1 up and away to get it going here in the bottom of the second. A 3-run homer and his first triple of the season in yesterday's game. Was just as happy about his defensive contributions. Line drive hit hard but well foul. You know, you and I talked at the beginning of the game about the possibility he's playing himself into all-star consideration, and all you have to do is look at the second baseman in the American League, and there aren't, first of all, some teams don't even have a regular second baseman. It's kind of a whoa, hit hard, and oh, it's going to eat up Holiday and get out into center. And Clement is aboard with a base hit to begin the bottom of the second. Let's take a look at that one.
It says 98 off the bat, but I don't know if that's correct, because this looked like an absolute rocket. Watch it right over the head of Boz and just eats Holiday up. He's not even able to make a move, can't make a forward move, can't make a backward move. It just gets stuck, and he tries to play it on that backhand. Blistered ball by Clement.
A leadoff single, and here's Brandon Valenzuela coming off a big game himself yesterday. And as you mentioned, starting for the 6th time in the last 7 games. That OPS of 795, he is the team leader in that category. Down the right field line, but foul. All right, let's finish up the Ernie All-Star thought while we have a second here. Again, a number of teams in the American League don't even have a regular second baseman. And if you go online and look, what are the other second basemen in the American League having good years? Jazz Chisholm Jr.'s having a decent year. He's gotten hot, but he started off very cold. Chase Mydroth of the White Sox having an okay year. Cole Young, a rookie with Seattle. There is no second baseman in the league where you can look at his numbers and say, that guy's clearly having a better year than Ernie Clement. Strike 3 called to get Valenzuela. I don't know if there's anybody where you can look at it and even say
close.
I think he's having any kind of a better year than Clement. So if you are voting for Blue Jay All-Stars, and remember you only do that on the position player side, this guy has a case.
Leave nothing to chance. Toronto fans, vote him in. He's absolutely deserving of that All-Star nod.
Jose Altuve, a guy you know, obviously a big name, but you know, not the player he used to be. Here's Kaz Okamoto. If you had told Ernie Clement a year ago you're going to set a major league record for most hits in a postseason, you're going to play on Team USA in the WBC, and then let's say it happens and you're going to go to the All-Star game. It has been quite a year. 1-1 on Okamoto, who kind of quietly is swinging the bat much better of late. He is 9 for his last 20. And over a bit of a longer stretch, hitting .319 in his last 13 games. Down the right field line, slicing foul.
And Dan, they might not all be hitting off the wall or over the fence in terms of his hits, but seeing results, even if you're hitting them off the end, even if you're kind of reaching for some balls here and there, even if there's a couple infield singles, seeing results allows you to settle in and kind of loosen up every once in a while.
Pulls one to the left side, sliding stop Henderson to second one, and that's all they'll get as Okamoto is aboard on a fielder's choice.
Pretty good play by Henderson right here as Alexander's going to leave his feet, and sometimes when that third baseman gets close it can mess up the sight line, but Henderson just gets over there and gets that ball back into the throwing position and fires a bullet over to Holiday.
So 2 down, and now Okamoto the runner at first, and here's Andres Jimenez, who went 2 for 4 with an RBI in yesterday's game. This one headed for the seats left side. It's another breezy day here today, not as windy as it was yesterday. Nice day to have the roof open. Oh, and 2. Teams really going at Jimenez with high fastballs, trying to get him to expand the zone.
And especially up in the zone with velocity, they're also playing keep away as well. And I think that's by design, as he's really handling the ball on the inner third of the plate.
Too much up and away, ball 1.
But that's where I really would love to see Andres kind of shorten up and look on the outer half and get behind some of those baseballs, shoot some of those baseballs to the opposite field, start to cover that pitch, and then look on the inner lane.
Nice stop at third by Alexander, and he'll make a good play to get Jimenez. We are through 2 and still no score.
Sports Center. I'm here at the WestJet flight deck where it's a Junior Jays Sunday, but this time we have some new decor. A giant friendship bracelet has been unveiled on the facing of the WestJet flight deck. A reminder to Jays fans of all ages that the deeper we get into summer, the closer we get to Major League Baseball's All-Star Game. So now the question for you, the fans, is which one of your favorite Blue Jays do you want to see represent the team in the city of brotherly love? Like Dan and Caleb were talking about, maybe it's Ernie Clement. They said it. Hits record representing USA at the World Baseball Classic. Let's complete the triple for Earn Dog and send him to the All-Star Game. Phase 1 of both.
Even in the photo, he's not even in the picture. If you're playing straight up right there, that's just an easy F9 in my opinion. And I know you might be trying to guard against that ball blocked down the line, but oh man, you want that one back so badly.
So now 2-0 Baltimore, and here's Ward. So the Orioles with 3 hits in the inning, all of them extra base hits, and in fact all 4 hits they have in the game are for extra bases, 3 doubles and a homer. Fastball there, 1-2. Up to 85 pitches now for Gausman through 4 2/3. He's thrown 23 of those pitches here this inning. Back at Alexander, and this one is hit high and deep to left field, and it is going to go. Ward with his 3rd home run of the season, and it's a big inning now for the Orioles, leading 4-0.
Well, I got 2 called strikes on the fastball early in the AB. Fouled off a 4-seamer with 2 strikes, was very late on that pitch, and if you're going to try and speed the barrel up and catch him out front with a split, especially with 2 strikes and a guy that's been late on the fastball, it's got to be buried, and that's a hanger right into the bat speed of Ward.
And Gausman never even looked out to left. He could tell right off the bat. He knew he missed his spot, and he knew it wasn't coming back. Boy, Gausman absolutely in control for the first 4 innings. This is kind of reminiscent, Caleb, of the Trey Savage start on Friday night. In control, and then boom, a big inning.
Just shows you how quickly it can happen in the big leagues. You execute, and then leave a couple pitches in the middle, maybe a couple questionable pitch calls in this inning, and before you know it, you're down 4-0.
Fouled off, 1-2 on Gunnar Henderson. Gausman had gotten the second out. It was after the Cowser home run, but it was still just to 1-0 at the time. But then double by Holiday, double by Alexander, home run by Ward. Inside with the fastball, 2-2. Adam Macko just got up. If it continues, Rutschman comes up. It's a full count now on Henderson. Strike 3 call. So that will finally retire the Orioles, but they hit a couple of homers and now lead 4-0.
Come back, Brandon Valenzuela leading things off for the Blue Jays here in the home half of the fifth. And Ernie Clement had high praise for Valenzuela, calling him the most improved player in baseball. Clement loves Valenzuela's aggressiveness at the plate. He said when he swings and misses, you actually hear it in the dugout. Everybody's like, oh, that's what you want to hear, Clement said, and then joked, nobody does that when I swing. Dan, back to you.
Ernie can compliment a teammate and make fun of himself all at the same time. Here is Valenzuela to lead off the bottom of the fifth. And now the Blue Jays have some work to do. It was scoreless the last time they were hitting. It's now 4-0 Baltimore. Shane Baz on the mound. And Caleb, 39 pitches through 4 innings is the fewest number of pitches Shane Baz has ever needed to get through 4 innings in a start in his career. Wow. The Blue Jays are swinging a lot, as they do. They are chasing a lot today, as they have done this season. Again, there's been some pretty good contact, just a couple of singles, a few hard hit balls that were outs, but they have not yet solved him. They have the second lowest walk percentage in the majors, and they have the second highest chase percentage in the majors. Those two things are obviously interconnected to a certain degree, and hopefully it will improve. I think getting a guy like Alejandro Kirk back is going to help that improve a little bit. Kirk is on rehab with Dunedin, DHing today down in Dunedin. I think last we heard from John Schneider, Kirk maybe comes here tomorrow just to get it looked at, reevaluated, and then could head off to Buffalo. Maybe Kirk is back as early as, say, Friday when the Yankees come to town. There's ball 4. So we willed a walk into existence right there.
Base runners. It does feel like they kind of want Kirk quickly here, obviously, but instead of maybe 25 at-bats, maybe it's 18, and come on, get activated.
Here's Kaz Okamoto, reached on a fielder's choice in the second. Taken high, ball 1. And now Basayo heading to the mound. He wants to make sure everything is okay with Baz.
Talked about that 5-year, $68 million deal he signed in March before he even threw a pitch for the Orioles. And oh my goodness, it did not start off well. A lot of angry fans in Birdland as his first 8 starts went this way. 44 1/3, 19 walks, 5.48 ERA, gave up 5 homers, but the last 3 he's starting to kind of round into form. 20 innings pitched, only 4 earned runs and 21 strikeouts, so he's really settling into his role in Baltimore's rotation.
Swing and a miss by Okamoto, 1-1. Still a lot of swing and a miss in Okamoto's game, but when he does make contact, he has been hitting the ball very hard, and again, swinging the bat overall well, over 300 his last 13 games. That's been the tough one for him, the slider off the outside corner.
And I think if he's looking away, that swing's going to look a little bit different, but if you're going to want to pull the baseball, set your sights closer to you, so that's an easy check down.
You can see top 10 hard hit rate when he does make contact. It's usually good contact. Ooh, that was close. And it's 2-2. Both teams with both challenges, but Basayo opted not to ask for a challenge on that one. Still alive. Shaking it off a little bit. He'll ask for time. I think the left foot is where he got it. Valenzuela aboard with a leadoff walk. And again the 2-2, and he lays off that one down and away. Now full. Andres Jimenez on deck. Mark Budzinski with some info for Valenzuela, but would be very surprised if he's going anywhere on this pitch. He is not. And a swing and a miss as Okamoto went after one way up and in and strikes out.
Catch every pitch with Canada's most reliable 5G Plus network and best 5G Plus network. Rogers, we got you.
So instead of what could have been first and second, nobody out on ball 4, it's a strikeout for Okamoto, and here's Jimenez, who grounded out to third in the second. Is that just Okamoto respecting the velocity of Boz and having to cheat or guess really early?
Yep, and it's just got good ride, it's got good life, and it starts off on the middle lane of the plate and had good arm side run, but you'd love a little bit more discipline there, especially if you're going to kind of chase on the outer half. You want to lock in one side of the plate, you're given freedom to chase. It can't be on both sides.
Boz out front, 0-2 on Jimenez. Upstairs with a fastball. Blue Jays are going to see a number of very good pitchers the rest of this homestand. Christopher Sanchez of the Phillies, Zach Wheeler of the Phillies, Cam Schlittler of the Yankees. It is not going to get any easier on this homestand. Two and two. And a line drive into left center, a base hit for Jimenez to push Valenzuela up to second.
Second time in a row that Andres Jimenez tries to go to the opposite field. This is the recipe for success for me to kind of get back on track. Started off the season swinging a really hot bat. Doesn't try and do too much. It's up, out over the place, but look at him get behind that baseball. You start to get a little bit of success, lock in that kind of middle oppo approach, and see where that takes you.
2 on, 1 out, and Miles Straw is the batter. Straw with a ground out to the third baseman in his first at bat. Taken low, ball 1. Straw's done a nice job this year against fastballs, hitting almost 290 against them. And as you have seen and we have talked about, Boz has a good fastball. Tapper to short. Underhand toss to second for 1, and that's it. Fielder's choice, first and third, 2 down. Will they challenge? Nope. Everything looked as appeared as it looked out at second base, so it is a fielder's choice, first and third, 2 down. Kind of a half swing there right now on that cutter, probably looking for seamer, and got something with a little wrinkle to it.
Totally fooled, especially in a 1-0 count.
Here's George Springer, 0 for 2. A pop-up and a line-out.
Boy, a 3-run blast would be huge here. See if Springer could get the head out. Set his sights towards left field.
Lifts it to right center. It'll be caught by Cowser, crossing in front of O'Neill. The Blue Jays will strand a couple and still trail 4-0. Time now for a Blue Jays Central update with Jamie Campbell. And on Kevin Gausman, who is now officially out of the game. Again, he was sailing through the first 4, but the Orioles got to him for 4 runs on 4 hits, including a couple of home runs in the 5th. He winds up giving up 4 through 5, 93 pitches this afternoon. So it's on to the bullpen here. 4-0 Orioles in front of another, looks like a sellout crowd here on a very nice Sunday. And it'll be Adam Macko's second appearance here in this series.
Slider, four-seam changeup for Macko. 11th game this season. You see the ERA under 2. Been very tough against right-handed batters with that slow slider. Good little ride on the four-seam.
Adley Rutschman turns around to bat from the right side against Macko. Rutschman 0 for 2 today. And there is that slider down and in for ball 1. Rutschman, Alonso, and Basayo. So Macko facing the 3, 4, 5 hitters here in the Baltimore lineup. But right now with the 2 lefties out of the bullpen, Mason Fluharty is lefty number 1 for lack of a better term, and the higher leverage situations will go to him assuming he is available. And so generally Macko will pitch in games maybe where the Blue Jays are behind or a little bit further out in front. But he has handled himself very, very well so far in his big league career.
Like the repertoire, I just like his mound presence. Starting pitching so hard to come by, and I just got a feeling that he might transition potentially into being a starter. I like the stuff, I like what he brings, and I like him getting his feet wet as a reliever here, but you never know down the line just with his experience and how he continues to develop. I love lefty starters, and to me he looks like he's got the potential to possibly go back into the rotation. We know he did that earlier on in his career.
Yeah, it was last season when the Blue Jays moved him to the bullpen. He had a knee injury last year, had arthroscopic surgery that cost him about half the season a year ago. Shakes once, now nods that he has the pitch he wants, and he wanted the curveball, but he bounced it in. So to your point, in this at bat, the first batter he's faced, he's already thrown all 4 of his pitches here. Line to center, a base hit for Rutschman.
Tried to go back to the changeup to get Rutschman out in front, and he does, but it just doesn't have the depth I think Macko was looking for. More of a little bit of a pulled changeup right there. He's able to get on that front foot and just sling that bat through the zone, rip it right back up the middle.
Now Pete Alonso 0 for 2 on a fly ball to center, but a ground ball to third. Line to third, and Okamoto makes the play for out number 1.
Perfectly positioned Okamoto. They call it the hot corner. See that glove ready, just slight little move to the backside. Sometimes these are the hardest ones because you see the curvature on that baseball. It's not only moving away from you, but it's moving top to bottom with topspin. Those are very easy plays, Dan, to kind of muffle up, and you got to be patient. You can't stick your hand out too far. You got to really let that thing travel and make sure you correctly judge where your hands got to go.
It's 107 off the bat. It's coming at you fast. You don't have much time to think about it, but he made a very good play. So both hooking and sinking is what you're saying. Basayo chases again, and Macko out in front 0-2. Back-to-back sliders from the lefty. Can't blame a guy for trying after those first 2 swings.
I love that. Missed on the correct part of the plate. Talk about climbing the ladder with the fastball, where you can turn that ladder sideways and move east-west as well.
And then a fastball beats him. 2 down.
Always looks like there's a little extra giddy up on the fastball after he throws a couple sliders. He just blows this right by Basayo. Underneath it, misses it by a foot. That's what I like about Macko, his ability to get to one part of the plate and expose it, play the X game off of that.
Now Colton Cowser. Cowser homered in his last at bat off Kevin Gausman. He homered yesterday as well. And he faced Macko on Friday night. Macko got him to fly out to left field. Looked like he checked it. The appeal confirms 2-0. Righty Connor Siebold has now gotten up. Three and 0. See, Macko's got a lot of confidence in the slider, throwing it when you're behind 2-0. Now he's got to get in the zone. And he will. 3-1. Swing and a miss. 3-2. If it continues, Tyler O'Neill. Cowser using his timeout. And Macko focusing on the next pitch. Runner will be on the move. There goes Rutschman. And it's swung on and missed. Another good outing for Adam Macko. He strikes out 2 in the inning, got Basayo, and he just got Cowser as well. Are you a Rogers customer? It's Canada's winning inning. This inning, when the Blue Jays get a hit, you could win big with Rogers Beyond the Sea. Just 3 hits so far for the Blue Jays, held off the score sheet, if you will, through 5. Best chance they had was last inning. Valenzuela walked to lead it off, and then one of the pivotal pitches of the game, I think, the 3-2 swing and a miss by Okamoto when the fastball way up and in. If he is able to not swing at that pitch, Caleb, it's first and second, nobody out. Jimenez coming up, he got a base hit. You can't say for sure he would have gotten a base hit, but maybe, you know, Boz is starting to feel it a little bit, but in the end they cannot capitalize. Here's a ball hit high indeed to right field and way gone for Pinyango. Known as more of a line drive hitter, but Caleb, when he gets it in the air, it goes a long way.
329 versus right-handed pitching this year. His 4th homer of the year was another no-doubter. What a beautiful swing off the bat of Pinyango. He's really finding that lift off to the pull side.
And the Blue Jays have their first run of the afternoon. 423 feet, the longest home run he has hit this year. Here's Guerrero, 0 for 2. 2 well-hit balls, but 2 outs. Might have broken his bat as he got jammed, and he grounds out to third.
It's a very typical combo to go curveball changeup, and I wonder if Pinyango was sitting on it because he was not out in front whatsoever. You see the grip from Boz right off the lower part of the barrel. Look at the balance. I mean, perfect lift off it. Because he met it out in front, his steep swing starts to get into the uppercut part of it, and he catches it perfectly.
That's 3 home runs in his last 9 games. And this is one of the things they are hoping for with Pinyango. They know his swing decisions are pretty good. They know his contact rate is very good, that he hits a lot of line drives. But can you tweak something here and there to turn more of those line drives into balls in the air, and so instead of gappers, they're going out of the ballpark.
I love where he's at. They say power is the last part of the equation for a young, good hitter. I love that he hasn't tried to do that, and he's just naturally finding ways to take shots out in front.
And now Sanchez hits one hard to right center, and that's going to get to the wall. O'Neill will get it back in, but not before Sanchez is standing at second base.
That's 2 barrels in a row for the Blue Jays off of Boz. 110 off the bat. Probably not going to have a play in right field by O'Neill. As you see that hanging curveball, he meets it out front. But watch this route in right field. A little bit in, a little bit out, not even close. Blue Jays are brewing a little bit. Can't bail Boz out right here.
Can Ernie Clement keep it going? Clement 1 for 2. Went around, says Hunter Wendelstedt, 1-1. And now Simeon Woods Richardson is up. He has yet to pitch since being reacquired by the Blue Jays. But it looks like he's coming in top of the 7th. Clement with a ground ball up the middle, booted by Henderson, and everybody is safe.
Well, it's a bit of a sword swing from Clement, and look at him getting out of the box. Henderson knows he's going to have to field that on the run because Ernie Clement is getting out of the box. You could just see it clank right off of the glove. He was in full motion. You see that? That is what pressure on the bases does to infielders. If you're not running hard down the line, he might back off a little bit, make sure his timing's in a good spot, corral it, throw easily over to first base. But that's what running down the line every single time does. It puts that thought in the infielder's head, and from time to time you might get a clank. Blue Jays received one. See if they can take full advantage of it right here.
Meeting on the mound, sorry Caleb. Bullpen scrambling right now for the Orioles. Andres Jimenez, the batter, had a base hit his last time up. I'm sorry, Brandon Valenzuela, the batter. Valenzuela struck out looking in the 2nd, walked in the 5th. The guy you like to see in this spot, given the way he has been swinging the bat recently, as he takes inside, ball 1. And we talk about how the team is chasing a lot and not taking a lot of walks. Valenzuela is not part of that problem. He is taking his walks in addition to swinging the bat well when he is swinging. As Yanier Cano is now up in the pen for the Orioles. 1st and 3rd, 1 out, and the 1-0. There's a swing and a miss. And again, that's that sharp 12-6 curveball that Boz has.
We've talked about, Dan, his progression, how comfortable he's looked at the plate. This is a big at-bat for the youngster. What does it aesthetically look like? Does he start to feel the pressure? Does he continue to have a plan? Can he execute it? Does he rush to the outcome?
Bounces it up the middle, and the only play is to first, so a run is going to come in to score. Alonso is saying that Clement should be called out for going out of the baseline, and now Craig Albernaz, the manager, is running out onto the field. But the call on the field from the second base umpire, Nick Lentz, was that Clement was within the rules. You don't establish a baseline until the fielder makes a tag attempt on you.
Yes.
So up until that point, you can do anything you want. And the conversation between Nick Lentz and Craig Albernaz continues. Henderson gets the ball. I don't even know if that's a tag attempt.
No, I don't think so. It's a little bit of a swipe, and I think Lentz has this correct. Watch this little glove movement. That to me is not egregious enough. And I think that's what Nick Lentz is having the conversation about right now. If you really make a big-time move and they're way outside of the baseline, he will be called out immediately. But that was just a little bit of a swipe.
And you get 3 feet, right, once the tag attempt is applied. I agree with you. I think that's kind of standard base running by a guy trying to avoid a tag. And Alvarez will lose the argument, so that's going to be a ground out for Valenzuela to drive in a run and make it 4-2. That all appeared to be well within bounds.
Which is a risky play on Clement's side too, because if he's trying to get past this play right here, if Gunnar does make a full-on attempt, they secure the double play.
Right.
And there is no run.
Because he could have froze.
Yeah,
right.
And stop and then create a rundown in between first and second.
But they get a run out of it. It is 4-2, and now here's Okamoto. 0 for 2, representing the tying run. Ooh, and a very delayed strike call there from Hunter Wendelstedt, who looked like he was thinking about it for an extra beat. But he says it caught the corner, and it's 0-1. Line drive, left field. Clement around third, heading for the plate and in to score, and it's a one-run game.
Well, if you're given a gift, you gotta make it hurt. It's exactly what Okamoto does. Orioles were potentially out of a double play jam to get out of that inning, but they continue it, and watch this cutter on the outer half. He gets it off the end of the bat, but this is what we've seen over the last couple of weeks for Okamoto. He's still finding barrel to baseball. Good tight turn at third base for Clement. Keep the inning alive.
Now Jimenez. Way inside. And now that the game is closer, Connor Siebold has gotten back up instead of Simeon Woods Richardson. And that suggests to me that some of the leverage guys may not be available today. And again, we have talked endlessly about all the appearances, all the work, all the heavy lifting from the bullpen. We don't know with Varland or Rogers or Fisher or Hoffman, who may or may not be available. But it is Siebold up in the bullpen. 3-0 to count on Jimenez. Kind of the cumulative effect of all the work the bullpen has done is that sometimes you don't have the exact guy you want in the spot you want him. And that's not to take anything away from Siebold, but typically in a one-run game, I don't think we would see him up in the bullpen right now. If everybody were rested, we would see one of the higher leverage guys. That's a strike. Jimenez is challenging.
The call is a strike. The Blue Jays have one challenge remaining.
The call will stand. It's a strike. The Blue Jays down to one challenge. Full count now. And that means Okamoto will get a running start. Alonso off the bag, now playing behind him. Ripped down the right field line. A fair ball. Okamoto is getting the wave, and this game is tied. A big two-out RBI double by Andres Jimenez.
Locked his swing in, going to the opposite field earlier in this game, and he gets a hanging curveball and blasts it right down the right field line.
A 4-run inning to tie it up, and a pitching change coming for the Orioles. Boz, like Kevin Gausman earlier, just cruising, and then like Gausman, ran into a big inning and could not get out of it. Andres Jimenez ripping one into the right field corner, and Kaz Okamoto scoring from first.
They were able to jump on the off-speed pitches from Boz. Homer on a changeup, double from Clement on a breaking ball, and then another breaking ball off of Jimenez. He is fired up. Watch that reaction. Vamonos!
And the inning is still going. Here is Yennier Cano with Jimenez out at second and 2 down. Cano worked a scoreless inning on Friday night. John Schneider will bring up a pinch hitter. Here is Nathan Lucas to hit for Miles Straw. Cano jumps out in front 0-1. Lucas had been red hot coming into the series. He started each of the first 2 games. He's 1 for 8. Not the starting lineup today as he takes down and in. Boy, that Gunnar Henderson error figuring in prominently in this inning as well. But then some 2-out hits by Okamoto and Jimenez. 2 balls and a strike. A lot of good, but it didn't end well for Boz. And Lucas goes after one that dove down and out of the strike zone. A good splitter, 2-2. Foot of Cano, and Lucas will reach, coming to the plate, Jimenez, and the Blue Jays have the lead. Heads up base running by Andres Jimenez, and it's 5-4 Blue Jays. And now injured at the plate is Basayo. And he's holding his left wrist. So the ballpark has gone quiet. Basayo is still down.
Off the foot of Cano. That slow flip right there might have given Fabulous the ability to send Jimenez home. We've seen it so often from time to time. Jimenez will not break stride. Well, maybe a little bit, but then he picks it up on the back end.
And it looked like Basayo, as he tried to tag Jimenez, just extended that left arm. And it was after Jimenez had crossed the plate, but right there maybe got it jammed underneath him a little bit, but is still sitting and is obviously in some pain. Something in the left forearm or wrist, and you can see him reach out as soon as the play had come to an end. We've seen Basayo deal with shoulder, abdominal, and now wrist or forearm issues all in the last week or so. Back on his feet.
That's on the catching hand as well. Gonna feel the impact of a baseball, especially if you kind of bent that wrist backwards. It might feel a little weak at times, and keep a close eye on kind of how he receives the baseball. But what a turn of events here. The 6th inning, Dan.
A 5-run bottom of the 6th inning. You saw their third catcher Sam Huff with a gear on just in case. It looks like Basayo is going to be able to stay. Rutschman the DH today. For Lucas, that goes as an RBI single. They got a bounce off of Cano over towards second. Lucas with enough speed to beat it out. Jimenez with enough awareness and speed to slide in safely ahead of the throw. And from out of nowhere, the Blue Jays have come back to take the lead. Here's Springer 0 for 3. And he checked the swing. He takes it inside. Ball 1. It is still Connor Seabold up in the bullpen. So clearly a guy, or maybe some guys, are unavailable today who would normally be up in this kind of a situation. Lucas the lead. Inside again, ball 2. Caleb, that play at the plate, Alonso catches the throw, and then there's just a tiny bit of a hesitation before he turns to the plate. Is somebody yelling at him, home, home? Do you hear that?
Your entire dugout, especially here at Rogers Center. 4, 4, 4.
Ground ball, just foul.
But the fact that Holiday had it in his glove and had to try, his only shot was to glove flip it, that just created a little bit of a lollipop type of action. And you saw Andres Gimenez, he was reading that play the entire time, and I think when he saw that ball kind of pop out of the glove of Holiday, he just felt like I could make it.
And Carlos Fabulous is keeping him apprised of what's going on too.
Oh yeah, I mean he's involved in the play right here, and watch again, right off the foot, and then watch Holiday. His only shot is to glove flip it, and look, woo, like that little bit of time, and then Alonso really yanks it to the pull side. It would have taken a perfect pitch to get him.
And a very frustrated George Springer slams his bat down on his way down the line as he pops up to end the inning. But what an inning it was for the Blue Jays. It all started with a Yohendrick Piñango monster shot to right, and the Blue Jays just kept on coming. Okamoto sliding in safely. It's a 5-run inning and a 1-run lead.
Build your own pint-sized Blue Jays buddy with a Potato Head specialty ticket. On Thursday, June 25th, specialty ticket purchasers will receive their own Blue Jays Potato Head. Build your specialty tickets now at bluejays.com/promotions. Dan, I really need this one, I think.
I can't blame you. It's 5-4 Blue Jays top 7. All 4 for Baltimore in the 5th, all 5 for the Blue Jays in the 6th. Tyler O'Neill leading off the 7th. It's the bottom third of the order for the Orioles, with Connor Seabold on the mound, making his 5th appearance as a Blue Jay. When last seen, Seabold went an inning on Friday night and allowed 3 runs on 4 hits. But again, if you're just tuning in, as we have said, clearly somebody, whether it's Fisher, whether it's Fluharty, maybe both, could be down today. Nathan Lucas stays in the game in center. It is bottom third of the order for the Orioles. And a ground ball, fair, and it's off the glove of Okamoto into foul territory, and O'Neill is aboard. And will be credited with a base hit.
What's ball's right down the line. Okamoto kind of plays it into a bit of a tricky hop. You've either kind of come in or go backwards. You go straight across, and that little bitty move right there looks like it gets right close to the base. A little bit of hesitation. Orioles in business.
Here's Jackson Holiday. 1 for 2 on the day, and the last one is the one, remember, to deep right center, and then Straw had it pop out of his glove. It has originally scored a double and an error. It's now been changed, Caleb, to a straight triple. I don't think he was going until he saw the ball pop out of the glove.
I don't know about that. I think they got it right the first time.
Now to play 1-1. And next man up clearly is going to be Tyler Rogers. Presumably if they get around to the big boys at the top of the order. You can see with guys down, bullpen thin, just trying to squeeze some outs here and there, lighten the load on the other guys. Maybe they've only got Rogers and Varland after Seabold to try to get him to the finish line, and so you might be asking guys for more than 3 outs.
Maybe this is a spot in the next week or 2 where Spencer Miles makes an appearance.
Another name, and it's not going to help him today, but Tommy Nance is very close. Could be back as early as tomorrow, maybe at some point early this week. There's Nance dealing with some forearm discomfort. Made 1 rehab assignment, did a little light throwing in the bullpen today. Seems like he is very close. This is well hit down the left field line. It is slicing foul. Too close for comfort down there in the corner. It is 3-2.
He's a good low ball hitter. It's a very natural move for Holiday. I try and make him beat it to the opposite field if possible.
The lead by O'Neill, a full count on Holiday, and the pitch. Down and in, ball 4. And the Orioles have the first 2 men on. And Pete Walker on his way to the mound. Grant Wolf from the lefty up in the Baltimore pen. Blue Jays just took the lead, but that is in some jeopardy right now with 2 on and nobody out. And Blaze Alexander, who's already got 2 doubles in this game coming up.
Try somehow to get this ball on the ground. Let the defense try and roll 2. And they kind of see where you're at. Limiting and minimizing damage so critical and important here. But Blaze Alexander is really seeing the ball well today, battling in a couple ABs and finding barrels. So tread lightly. Looks like the corners of the infield are in, playing for the bunt.
They are really expecting a bunt here from Alexander. And he squares, and he gets it down. Valenzuela to third to get the lead runner. Big play by Brandon Valenzuela.
A poorly executed bunt from Alexander, but I love the internal clock of Valenzuela. Not rushed, bare hands it, throws a strike to third base.
And that will be all for Seabold. He'll face 3 batters, top of the order coming up. Now it'll be Tyler Rogers. Welcome back to Rogers Blue Jays baseball on Sportsnet. It's a tight one. It's a tense one here in the 7th inning. It's 5-4 Blue Jays. The Orioles have runners at first and second with a 1 out for Tyler Rogers.
31st game of the season for Rogers. See if he can induce a double play here. You know, he loves to put that ball on the ground. Got to be ready for any sort of weird hops or bounces as an infielder.
He got 3 big outs yesterday. Facing Taylor Ward, who sends it out of play down the right field line. Ward hit a 2-run home run in the 5th, his 3rd of the season. Called strike 2. Check the swing. Valenzuela asked for the appeal, did not go around. Big play by Valenzuela to get the lead runner on the bunt attempt. So instead of second and third, it's first and second. Up and away. Three big outs yesterday for Rogers. In the 8th inning, he got Rutschman, Alonso, and Mayo. Ground ball. Clement to Jimenez on to first in time. Tyler Rogers just keeps doing Tyler Rogers things. Getting the ground ball, getting the big outs, and the Blue Jays will take the lead to the bottom of the 7th.
Corner canvas and canvas. And now you can take home your own masterpiece. On Wednesday, June 10th, the first 15,000 fans into the ballpark will receive a Dylan Cease bobblehead. Add some elite pitching to your collection by making this bobblehead a part of your lineup. Get your tickets now at bluejays.com/promotions. I just want to know if he's going to look like his bobblehead by the time that giveaway comes around.
That beard comes in pretty quickly, so it is possible. Dylan Cease, by the way, threw a good long bullpen session. He threw a pen today. And remember, John Schneider had said, well, there's a chance he doesn't need another one in the minors, that he could just rejoin the team. Caleb, it looks like Dylan Cease is going to rejoin the team Tuesday. The Blue Jays have announced that tomorrow, in the first game of the series against the Phillies, it'll be Patrick Corbin. But their TBA Tuesday, Wednesday, that looks like it's going to be Cease, and then maybe Scherzer on Wednesday.
I agree. Wholeheartedly agree that he looks ready to go, happy with his stuff and where he's at.
Yohendrick Pinango leading it off against lefty Grant Wolfram, who has just entered the game. It seems like a long time ago now, but it was Pinango who got that 5-run bottom of the 6th inning started with that long home run off Shane Baz, 423 feet to right. 2 for 3 on the day. Tried to hold up, and he did. So he'll face a left-handed pitcher here in Wolfram. Guerrero up next, and then Sanchez. Shane Bieber in the house as well. He threw a rehab outing in Worcester yesterday for Buffalo. He's a little bit further behind. This is popped up third base side and will get out of play, but all going well. Bieber would appear to need 1, maybe 2 more before he comes back. But if they have Cease and Scherzer, they have 5 starting pitchers. They can stop doing the bullpen.
Yes, which is going to directly impact how those guys are being used down there, and not putting manager John Schneider in a bit of a stuck situation as to constantly thinking about the next TBD, or you're gonna have your bullpen guys and that's it, and then start managing the bullpen as a whole, versus 2 or 3 guys are gonna have to leave to start, etc., etc.
Get a little something with Messiah, who has had himself quite a weekend here in Toronto, but he's all right. If you're a young left-handed hitter, you love to get a chance to face a left-handed pitcher, just to try to show your hitting coaches and your manager, hey, maybe I can handle this as well. Down and away, 3-2.
Especially after you just face one of the nastiest lefties on the planet, Chris Sale.
Fights it off to stay alive. Three-two again, and another foul off. Here comes pitch number 8. The first to timeout for Pinango. Two teams with identical records, each of them starting play today a half game out of the final wild card spot in the American League. And as early as it is, and things are going to change, I think they both look at their situation and say, okay, it's not going great, but there's a lot of other teams for whom it's not going great. And the standings overall have been a little bit kind to the Blue Jays, but I think both teams feel time to get it going now. Well hit ball to the opposite field, but it's going to be caught down in the corner shy of the track by Ward. One down as we check in with Hazel.
Dan, you mentioned Cease was out throwing earlier. Scherzer also threw a pen today. And when I mentioned that John Schneider hinted he'd be back next week, he told me he was confident that would indeed be the case. I checked off a lot of boxes and recovered well, he said. I can tell you that I am good. I'll be able to go on Wednesday. Guys?
So, looks like Cease Tuesday, Scherzer Wednesday. That would push you Savage back to the Yankee series Friday. And then Gausman Saturday, again Corbin tomorrow, and then they've got 5 starting pitchers plus a couple of length options in the bullpen. If Miles is going to become just, kind of a multi-inning reliever instead of a bulk guy. So many different terms these days.
Opener, reliever, multi-inning.
That
pitcher.
Guerrero challenging. I got plenty of the plate.
The pitch is a strike. Toronto is out of challenges for the remainder of the game.
You can see today, Vladdy's not in a great spot right now. You can just see it in the reactions. When he's hit the ball hard, it's been caught. When he hasn't hit the ball hard, now he's challenging. He just continues, Caleb, to search for it, maybe than we've ever seen him search for it in the big leagues. Blue Jays out of challenges.
Having such a difficulty kind of sustaining 5, 6, 7, 8 games in a row. He'll look and swing in a way that makes you think he's really starting to get it. And then the very next at bat, it seems like it kind of goes backwards. And a lot of it just, for me, a lot of it has to do with just plate discipline and just getting up there. I know I've said this over and over and over, but it's on purpose because I'm just not seeing him zoned into a very specific spot against a very specific pitch. Like right now, it's 3-1. What are you looking for in what zone? That ain't it. Like that ain't it, Dan. I hate 3-1. If it's going to be in close to you and you're going to go on a pitch that's in off the plate, you can't be tied up on the inner half. And that just to me feels like he's just up there seeing it and trying to hit it. And I like his gather. I like that he was on time, but I don't think he was looking in there. And so if you're not looking in there, then don't make a pass, because a swing like that makes you second guess your swing altogether.
And now a swing and a miss as he strikes out, and the struggles continue here this weekend for Guerrero.
So in off the plate to then up and away off the plate, and it's obvious he's searching for hits and results. And every hitter that's ever played this game has been in that spot. And it's just so hard to be patient and stick with the process and approach. But I think that's the best case scenario for him. Let go of the outcome, stick with patience, process, and then the outcomes will be there.
Now Jesus Sanchez, who is 1 for 3, had a double back in that 5-run 6th. Hit through the right side. Second consecutive 2-hit game for Jesus Sanchez. Meanwhile, out of the bullpen, Louis Varland has gotten up. Tyler Rogers got the double play ball to end the top of the 7th. And now a pitching change coming for the Orioles as Greg Albertaz is on his way back to the mound. It's Rico Garcia, who will check into the game with Ernie Clement due up for the Blue Jays.
Garrett's giving away a 50-day Mediterranean cruise. Get your tickets by 10 p.m. Eastern tonight for your chance to win this once-in-a-lifetime vacation. Plus, you'll be entered to win the grand prize that's now over $1.45 million. Visit BlueJays.com/5050 to get your tickets now from Alberta, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, or Ontario. Dan?
And thank you. Here's Rico Garcia. Caleb, only 7 hits allowed in 26 1/3 innings.
Savant page is bloody red except for extension, but it's heavy slider usage, especially against right-handers. More of a mix versus the lefties, but expect Clement here to get a lot of spin.
Sanchez the lead at first, 2 down in the inning, 5-4 Blue Jays. Fouled back below us, and it's 0-1. 5 runs, 9 hits for the Blue Jays, 4 runs on 7 hits for the Orioles. The Orioles have committed the only error of the day, and it was a big one, the Gunnar Henderson play. Although the error on Miles Straw was taken away, I think you and I both think it still should have been an error, but did not impact the scoring in the game. The Henderson one most definitely did. And 2 and a swing and a miss. He strikes out Clement, and that will end the inning. On to the 8th. 5-4 Blue Jays.
Welcome back. Louis Varland throwing here in the bullpen, possibly getting into this afternoon's ball game. And on this Junior Jays Sunday, we wanted to show you the Junior Jays All-Stars pregame event yesterday. I had the honor of hosting 50 All-Stars at Rogers Center, and in addition to the thousands across Canada and the U.S. And look who it is. Mr. Varland was our special guest. He was unbelievable, interacting and engaging with all the kids. Varland answered questions, and then he stuck around for a group photo. So we want to extend our thanks to Louis and to manager John Schneider for their participation at this year's Junior Jays All-Stars event. I got to tell you, Dan, Louis just went above and beyond to engage with these kids. He had a great time, and so did the kids, guys.
That's wonderful. They will never forget that. I mean, the pictures, the questions, you could see in the smiles and the way their eyes lit up. Great stuff there. And Varland waiting for his opportunity to get into the game. We got a challenge. We got a challenge right away here in the 8th inning from Gunnar Henderson. And he is correct. That call will be overturned.
Call is a ball.
Call is a ball, and the Orioles still with both remaining. Tyler Rogers back out to begin the top of the 8th after he got that huge double play to end the 7th, top of the 7th. He's got Henderson, Rutschman, and Alonso. You just see so many guys when they face Rogers take a swing, and you watch these guys enough. That doesn't look like their swing because they're just kind of feeling for the release point, feeling for the baseball.
It is just so different having to take your eyes all the way down to the dirt. And when you think you're underneath it, because that's what the messaging against a guy like Rogers is, try and scoop it, try and get underneath it. But because it's starting so much lower, you think you're underneath it, but you're still on top of it.
Swing and a miss, one down.
And then he elevates that sinker, and then before you know it, you're thinking down, 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 and then you go from over top of it to underneath it. Moving the fastball around for Rogers is huge. He's not predictable. Won't just stay down. He can move it up and in, up and away, down and in. He uses that as 3 or 4 different pitches.
Here's Adley Rutschman, 1 for 3. And that's a strike. Pete Walker on the phone to Graham Johnson down in the bullpen to say, here's the latest version of the game plan.
Good change.
The game plan changes a lot. It does for every team. We've already seen it change a few times here today for the Blue Jays. Ground ball. Ernie Clement. Out number 2.
Continues to amaze me that a guy throwing 85 miles per hour can continually induce weak contact.
Now Pete Alonso. Rogers retired Alonso yesterday. Remember the great play Ernie Clement made up the middle in the 8th inning? That was off the bat of Alonso. So these two saw each other less than 24 hours ago. Outside, it's 2-0. Now high, ball 3. Another thing that Rogers rarely does is walk a batter. He has issued only 9 walks in 30 innings, and 3 of those were intentional. So really only 6 walks issued by him in 30 innings, and he's in with a strike 3 and 1.
Alonso has good opposite field power.
That is high, ball 4. Remember, the Blue Jays are out of challenges. I think Rogers thought it was a strike, and I think he might have been right, but there's nothing they can do about it.
Looks like it's a bit of an upshoot slider. Oof.
And you think back to the Guerrero challenge in the 7th inning,
stuck.
right? Yeah.
You're at the mercy of good framing by Valenzuela.
So a man on, and now the go-ahead run will come up, and that's Samuel Basallo. Oh, no, it is Leody Taveras. I beg your pardon. So evidently, whatever was going on with Basallo, and there have been about 3 different things, enough to necessitate a change on the Baltimore side, and that will lead to a change on the Blue Jays side. Rogers out, and Varland on his way in. Got the save yesterday, got 3 outs in the 9th, needed only 8 pitches to get those 3 outs. He's a perfect for 10 of the season. He comes in here with a runner on and 2 outs in the 8th inning. So John Schneider looking for 4 outs out of Varland today. Leody Taveras, the pinch hitter. Taveras flied out against Varland in yesterday's game and takes a fastball over the outer edge for a strike. 0-1. Eased that first pitch in there at 100. It has been something else. Without question, has been one of the best relievers in the game so far this year. Obviously, Mason Miller deserves mention in that conversation. Cade Smith's having a great year as well, but I think Varland can stack what he has done alongside anybody. Swing and a miss. 1 and 2. And I know one thing you like is that changeup.
Love it. I love the fact that he has great sell on it. He doesn't decelerate his arm, which is a telltale for a hitter. He whips it through the zone, and you just cannot tell if it's that 4-seamer or that changeup. Push and pull type of pitch. Get them off the backside. Something else to think about with the breaking ball.
1-2. Got him. And it remains 5-4 Blue Jays. And time now for a Blue Jays Central update with Jamie and Kevin.
Celebrated Blue Jays legend with the Roy Halladay replica retro jersey giveaway. Tomorrow night, the first 15,000 fans will receive a retro Halladay jersey honoring one of the greatest pitchers in team history. Buy your tickets now at bluejays.com/promotions. Dan?
All right, Anna, thank you. Nice Sunday afternoon. And after the Orioles took a 4-0 lead, the Blue Jays got 5 in the 6th. They still lead 5-4 here going bottom 8. With Brandon Valenzuela leading it off. Valenzuela a strikeout, a walk, and then a ground out that produced a run. Also a good defensive play on the throw to third on the bunt attempt. Got the lead runner back in the 7th. Sam Huff now catching after Basallo was lifted for a pinch hitter. 0-2. That was a changeup that was not where Rico Garcia wanted the changeup, and you could see Valenzuela waited and waited, just missed it. Blue Jays trying to win a series here and get a little bit closer to the 500 mark. They've got some interesting games coming up. Phillies for 3 beginning tomorrow, then the Yankees for 3 beginning Friday. And the Major League ERA leader Christopher Sanchez will be on the mound for the Phillies tomorrow night. He's got a 1.46 ERA on the season. We'll see if Dalton Varsho goes out for a little defense in the top of the 9th. He did it yesterday.
Yeah, he looks ready. Tarps off, hats off. I think he's going to play D.
Tarps on. Hats off.
Pre-game time.
Whoa! Long drive to right field, and he's done it again. Brandon Valenzuela is a force right now. His 3rd home run in 4 games, and it is 6-4.
7th of the year. He just golfs this changeup from Garcia. Another no-doubter. When he's hitting them, he ain't hitting cheapies. It is off the bat, out of the park without question.
He has had an incredible last 5-6 weeks. When you start looking at who has been their best hitter over the last 5-6 weeks, it's either him or Ernie Clement. Those are the only 2 guys really that you can talk about. And man, is the power coming now for Valenzuela. And his rep was always, yeah, he's got the power. Can he cut down on the swing and miss? The walks have gone up. The swing and miss has gone down. And John Schneider will tell you it's about the time they took away the leg kick. Just gave him a little toe tap. Maybe seeing the ball better, making better swing decisions. When he squares it up, Caleb, it ain't coming back.
He's just found his groove, and the confidence is there. You can just feel it. You can see it. It's really bleeding out of his body just how confident he is back there, both sides of the ball. And the ability to really get another shot at that changeup. They were really trying to force the issue. You mentioned it. Second swing, he waited back and barely missed it, but he was perfectly on time for that, as if he knew it was coming. That's how you know it, guys. Really starting to settle in.
Okamoto with a huge cut, but pops it up for Alonso.
I mean, changeups are designed to get you off that backside and get you out in front to roll over. Look how behind the baseball. I mean, look, from the side angle, you would think that was a fastball. Perfectly on time. He knew it right away. I wonder if he's starting to get so confident that he's able to sit hard and soft even in 2-strike counts. It's gutsy, but if you can do it, you can make that pitcher pay.
And now Huff to the mound for a conversation with Garcia. I mean, Valenzuela was at Double-A in the Padres system a year ago, gets traded to the Blue Jays, goes to Triple-A, comes up to the big leagues after the Alejandro Kirk injury. You know what? He's getting more opportunities to work on a little bat flip down the first base line as well, flexing his muscle. Yes, he is. And that's going to be all for Garcia. Another pitching change for the Orioles. Right-hander Tyler Wells will come in. Andres Jimenez is going to face Tyler Wells, who has not pitched in this series. But watch Jimenez. He is calling Yohendrick Pinango. Come here, kid. I got something to ask you. And all you have to do is flip back in our scorebook, and you can see Pinango hit a home run off Wells last Sunday in Baltimore. And Jimenez wanted to get a little bit of information on what he might see.
That arm motion, Dan, that he was giving him tells Jimenez it's up top, 52 degrees. It's going to feel like it's got a little bit of down angle, and in his fingers moving to the side, that was him indicating cutter.
Bounces it toward first. Weird hop, but Alonso stays with it for the second out. Those two guys are getting it done right now for this team. Where would they be without what those two guys have done over the last month and a half?
You just got to have those type of glue guys that keep it rolling when certain guys are truly trying to figure it out and kind of get their footing underneath them. There's another one right here.
Yep, second at bat for Nathan Lucas. Had an RBI single as a pinch hitter back in the 6th. called strike. 0-2. Louis Varland got the last out of the 8th. He'll come back out for the 9th, and it's the 6, 7, 8 hitters coming up for the Orioles. Between Rogers and Varland, they took care of the meat of the order in the 8th. Fouled off and still 0-2. Cody Atkinson, one of the hitting coaches, in conversation with Clement, as Varland, he's a pacer in the dugout when he's coming back out.
I asked him about that, Dan, too, earlier in this series. I said, you don't mind the up downs? You just looked right through me and no. Okay. Okay.
When he's locked in, the answers are short.
Yes.
He's intense. Ground ball to short. Big hop for Henderson. And it's on to the 9th. They get an add-on run on yet another home run off the bat of guess who? Brandon Valenzuela. Number 7 was a no-doubter, and the Blue Jays will take a 2-run lead to the 9th. Next ball game for the Blue Jays tomorrow night. They welcome the Philadelphia Phillies to town. As mentioned, Christopher Sanchez leads the majors in ERA at 146. Patrick Corbin will be on the mound for the Blue Jays, and Blue Jay Central will get it started at 6:30 Eastern Time on Sportsnet. 5 in the 6th, the Valenzuela home run in the 8th. And here's Louis Varland back on the mound to begin the 9th inning with Colton Cowser the batter. Defensive changes. Piñango has now moved from right to left. Varsho's come into the game in center, and that'll push Lucas over to right. Varland got the last out in the top of the 8th, getting Taveras. He's got Cowser, Tyler O'Neill, and then Jackson Holliday scheduled to hit here in the 9th. This would be a feel-good victory for the Blue Jays if they can finish this off, given that they were trailing 4-0. It's a division rival. It's two teams that have the identical record right now, so they would move a game ahead of the Orioles, win a series. Varland looking for the final 3 outs. Out of play, and it's 2-2. And had to do it with John Schneider having to navigate a couple of innings there in a bit of an unusual way, because clearly some of the leverage guys are down. Tap towards third. Okamoto cannot get him. Cowser with an infield hit.
It's a check swing type of pass for Cowser on a changeup. Okamoto does everything possible, tries to get around that ball and fire it over there. He did everything right, but the ultimate excuse me, perfectly placed. Cowser just able to beat it out.
So now the tying run comes to the plate. It's Tyler O'Neill. He's popped it up. First pitch. Clement is fighting the sun. It'll be Varsho to take over out in center and make the play. I think Ernie was very, very glad to hear Dalton Varsho call him off right there.
No question. High sun here in this beautiful afternoon. Both infielders vacate second base, and then out of nowhere comes the Gold Glover.
That's the first out. Here's Jackson Holliday. And it's 0-1 as Valenzuela checks on Hunter Wendelstedt, who took that foul ball. Orioles have a tough stretch coming up. Mariners, Padres, Mariners, Dodgers. That's a rugged couple of weeks. Down and in, a ball and a strike. Cowser the lead. Guerrero holding him on. And the 1-1 fouled off. Another big cut there by Holiday, but it's 1-2.
Got to be really careful. That down and in spot to Holiday. He's got pull side power. This is where you're trying to manage the game. 2-run homer ties it. I like Velo up and away from him here.
A weak ground ball up the first baseline, and Varland will put the tag on Holiday. Both umpires saying he was out of the baseline anyway, so it doesn't matter. But it's the second out, and now Albernaz, the manager, is out saying, how is that out of the baseline if theirs wasn't out of the baseline a little bit earlier in the game? I think Louis also tagged him, though, didn't he? So I don't know.
He's going to get tossed.
Yeah.
Guarantee it.
Yeah.
He's going to get tossed. That is a distinct tagging motion.
Right.
Both hands fully extended going towards the batter.
Yeah, the two
Albernaz
plays were
is going to get tossed here. Totally different.
I don't think he's arguing about this. He's probably, as you say, he's angry about the other one. There's no win here for him. I'm positive Louis actually tagged him too, so I don't think so. It wouldn't even matter. Both umpires, home plate and first base, immediately signaled he's out of the baseline. That's a tag attempt, and he tagged him. He tagged him.
Yep.
So.
This is a manager trying to stick up for his ball club right here. He's trying. He's asking for it.
You know what else? Maybe he's trying to make Varland sit around on the mound and, you know, use the delay, hopefully.
Gamesmanship.
Right. So they get the second out. Cowser up to second. And it'll be Blaze Alexander. 2 for 3 with a couple of doubles. Strike one. He chased one way down and away. $41,278 enjoying this one. Swing and a miss again, and it's 0-2. Of the series after the loss on Friday night. Another home run for Valenzuela. Another home run for Piñango. Boy, the kids are all right, Caleb. They are helping this team right now when they really need it.
They go down 4 after the 5th inning, but it's the 2 lefties in the 6th that just caught my attention. That home run you just mentioned, Dan, from Piñango, really seemed to send a jolt of energy and the feeling that they could get the Shane Baz, who was absolutely cruising. Then Sanchez follows up with a double on a hanging curveball, and then they started to roll. Sometimes you got to have a couple big-time hits off of a guy that's really dealing to feel like you're going to break through. They had a couple gifts given to them, but they took full advantage of it, secured the series victory here.
They'll enjoy their Sunday night, turn the page tomorrow, and get ready for the Fightin' Phils, who are coming to town for a big 3-game series beginning tomorrow night. Time now for Blue Jays Central with Jamie Campbell and Kevin Pillar.
Another Blue Jays victory, another huge contribution from Brandon Valenzuela. Home run number 7 is your third in your last 4 games. I spoke with David Popkins that told me that you guys have made a slight adjustment in how you are in the batter's box, how much quieter you are. Explain to Blue Jays fans what that means to you.
I mean, it means a lot. Like I said in the past, it's just giving us a better chance as an offensive, not just me personally, but giving a team to win a ball game.
Your swing is a lot more simpler. It's simplified. How does that help you have a smoother swing there in the batter's box?
Say it again, I didn't hear you. Vladdy's making me nervous.
Vladdy's making him nervous, he said. That home run, your swing looks like it's a lot more simple. Brandon, why do you think you've been hitting home runs over these last few games?
Yeah, like you say, I'm a lot quieter in the box. Less movement, I'm seeing the ball better and taking better quality swings.
Another terrific save by Louis Varland. Can you tell us what it looks like coming out of his hand and just how nasty his stuff is?
I mean, in my opinion, it's the best reliever in the league right now. It just throwing flames and everything's moving everywhere. It's just nasty.
Take us to Kevin Gausman's start. What did you think was working? What did you guys have challenges with this afternoon?
Start pretty hot. That 5th inning, we just missed some locations, and that was it. We're in the big leagues. We don't miss mistakes. So.
Well, with your help, the Blue Jays have now won 3 straight series here in front of the crowd at Rogers Center. We'll see you tomorrow.
I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, guys.
Brandon Valenzuela and the Blue Jays get ready for the Phillies Monday night, guys.